All right, guys, today I wanted to talk about my top 10 most anticipated games for the PSVR2. I'm a huge fan of the original PSVR. There was a lot of great exclusive games on the PSVR that I actually hope make their way over to this PSVR2, but there's still a lot of great games to look forward to here on the PSVR2. And 6 or 7 of them already are exclusives that are coming within either the first month or two of the headset actually releasing. So I'm kind of surprised that there's some narrative out there that like, oh, people are already like talking about how they're worried that there's nothing to play on the PSVR 2. I'm like, are you guys seeing the same thing I am? I mean, even as somebody who owned the Quest 2 and the Meta products and stuff, and a lot of the games are being ported over to the PSVR 2, which I'm glad they are, because a lot of more people deserve to play those games. There's still already, 6 or 7 high caliber games that are already being talked about being here on the first couple of months here on the PSVR 2. So I'm super excited, and obviously I can't wait for the future to see even more games that are coming to the PSVR 2 that Sony may be working on. But there's a lot to look forward to, even as a person who already owns the Quest and has played some of the games being ported over on the PSVR 2, not only because the graphics fidelity is going to be a lot higher, you got the OLED displays that are going to be obviously, a lot better. You got the haptics on the controllers, the haptic on the headset, you got foveated rendering, eye tracking, all things that, are going to, and obviously the higher resolution, that all make me excited as someone who loves VR, and I can't wait to, get my hands on the PSVR 2. But let's go ahead and get into this video and let's talk about my top 10 most anticipated games on the PSVR 2.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 10 is Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition. So Creed Rise to Glory obviously is a game that actually came out on the original PSVR, but this is the Championship Edition that I'm excited about, because these graphics back on the PSVR days were really good, and I'm excited to see what that may look like on the PSVR 2, because we have a brand new Championship Edition here, and Servios, who makes this game, is promising to have new game content, new modes, settings, and all this stuff that they're reworking into the game to make it a more personalized and new experience for those of us who have already played this game. They're reworking the online PvP mode, and they're bringing optimized matchmaking and cross-play support. So I'm excited to see what this game is going to look like on the PSVR 2. I love boxing games. They're a lot of fun, and like I said, the last one was fantastic and had the graphics to go with it. So I can't wait to see how much of that is improved, and all the new game modes that they're talking about adding, and seeing how this wraps up in a final package here as a new addition to the game. So Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition coming in at number 10. Next one on this list, coming in at number 9, is Kayak VR Mirage. And this is a game that I've actually played before on the PC, because that's the only other place you've been able to play it. And the game is super fun if you're into these kind of games. It's a kayak game, of course. The physics are fantastic. The graphics are amazing, and really show off what VR can do. And I can't wait to see what that looks like on the PSVR with all its new features, because they're not just porting it over, they're optimizing the graphics for the PSVR 2. They're talking about how much better the OLED's going to be, because obviously deeper blacks and better colors and stuff, that's really going to make this game pop for the first time. They're adding haptic feedback, whether it be on the headset if you run into a rock or something, or the haptic feedback on the controllers and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for what this game is going to look like. And of course, it's not just kayaking around for no reason. They have racing modes that you can play against your friends and stuff like that. They have the exploring part where you don't know what you're going to see in different places. Sometimes there's dolphins, there's fish, there's penguins, all of these different things that are in the island. And I've had a fun time playing this game already on the PC, and I'm super excited to see that OLED display, all the haptic feedback, the customizations that they made to this game, and just seeing what this game could look like optimized for a PSVR 2 headset with all the power that they have, and see what this game looks like, because it's gonna really wow people, in my opinion, to what the graphics capability can do on the PSVR 2. So Kayak Mirage coming in at number 9. The next one on this list, coming in at number 8, is Zombieland Headshot Fever. This is a really exciting game, because this is a new edition of the Zombieland game. This is the Reloaded edition, and the trailer you're seeing right now is actually not representative of the game, because this is the regular edition, not the Reloaded edition, but there's no trailer for it yet. But they're actually reworking everything about the game. It's going to be like a completely new title, essentially, because they're using a brand new art style. So what you're seeing here is the old game, but now they're going to a cel-shaded art style with new character models, new animations, new progression system, new lighting, ragdoll, new music, all of these different things, and PSVR things like adaptive triggers, controller haptics, headset rumble, eye tracking support for foveated rendering. So this is going to feel like a brand new game, and I can't wait to play this game. It kind of felt like Time Crisis in VR, and I can't wait to see what they do with it and all the new features that are coming to this game. Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. Now, this is a game that I've been really excited about because it actually came out on the Quest, and of course I own a Quest, but I actually skipped it because I was waiting for it to come out on the PC because it's actually supposed to come out on the PC in March, probably the same time frame that this is obviously coming out on the PSVR as well. And I can't wait for this game to be able to play it in its full glory. I'm probably going to choose the PSVR version, PSVR2, over the PC just because of the fact that, you know, the headset is that much better. You know, the OLED displays and the haptic feedback and all that stuff. I can't wait to play it on the PSVR. Seeing it completely on its graphic fidelity that they're going to have going on there with all the rumbling and haptic feedback that the game has. And I love the original one. I don't know how many of you guys have played this one, but if you love zombie adventure and story-based games with a lot of things to do where you're going around a gigantic map and you're kind of talking to people, taking missions, scavenging, and doing it at night, and all these different things that the first game offered, but just on a gigantic scale, you're definitely going to love this version. And a lot of people on the Quest already like this game as it is, even for, you know, it being on the Quest with lower graphics and stuff. So I can't wait to see it on PC and PSVR 2 to kind of see them elevate that with, you know, better graphics and the haptics and all that stuff. So this is definitely one that I'm really excited about as a huge person who loved the first one, and I love zombie games and I love games like this. So definitely keep an eye on this one, guys. This is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Retribution Chapter 2 coming in at number 7. The next one on this list coming in at number 6 is Crossfire Sierra Squad. So I'm really excited about this game because of what they're touting that this game could be. So they do have solo mode, as you would expect, but they also have 4-player team co-op. So you're going to be able to play with 3 of your other friends, and they're touting in this game that there's over 60 campaign missions, nearly 40 different weapons, 17 types of enemies, and they're also touting additional modes as well, like arcade mode, realism mode, and hardcore mode. I'm really excited because the graphics of this game, as you guys can tell here, look fantastic. I'm really excited, and the game looks super good. And even if it just turns out to being like a Time Crisis, you know, shooter where you have 3 of your other friends basically playing alongside you, going through 60 campaign missions, as long as the variety keeps up, and you're doing different things like sniping weapons, as you're seeing right here, shooting enemies in different ways, the graphics are as good as they look right here, and you're kind of keeping up the pace and just having fun and explosions and all that kind of stuff, then this game could still be a lot of fun. But this is definitely high on my list of what I'm looking forward to on PSVR 2, just because of how good it looks and the touting of cooperative play and all the missions that they're touting and that are included in this game. So definitely one to keep an eye on. Crossfire Sierra Squad coming in at number 6. The next one here coming in at number 5 is Firewall Ultra. I mean, this is a game that doesn't need any introduction. I mean, this is the game that got me into PSVR, the original one, because of how much fun it was when they introduced the original Firewall. That's a game that I kept coming back to because it is a multiplayer shooter, kind of in the vein of like Rainbow Six and stuff like that for VR. And it was done super well. The fact that we're getting a full-on sequel here shortly after the PSVR launch makes me super excited. I've been looking forward to this game. I was hoping that they were going to make a sequel, and they are making a sequel to this game because everything about this game was great. It's a tactical multiplayer that you would expect for Rainbow Six, and the fact that we're getting a sequel here where they're going to have new contractors, new locations, better graphics, and everything that PSVR 2 offers, and going full-on out for it makes me super excited to see what this game is all about and what the sequel is going to offer. So Firewall Ultra coming in at number 5. The next one here coming in at number 4 is Gran Turismo 7. Now, the reason that this one isn't a little bit higher on the list is because I obviously prefer the other 3 that I'm more excited about, but also because I'm usually not the biggest fan of sim racing, because I'm usually pretty bad at them. So I usually like games more like Forza Horizon and Need for Speed and stuff like that. I actually don't even own Gran Turismo yet on the PlayStation 5 because, like I said, I'm not really into sim racing. So I usually don't play games like this, but all of the things that people are saying about this PSVR version and how awesome it looks in PSVR for IGN and all the people who got their hands onto this game early, talking about how good the cars look and how good the graphics look and the rain and stuff while you're driving and all the different tracks that are in the game, and the fact that they're making this Gran Turismo game fully in VR, so it's not like 1 or 2 tracks or anything, but the full entire game. And the game itself was already really good from a lot of the folks who obviously played it and talked about it. I can't wait. I can't wait for this game, even as a person who doesn't love sim racing, to just get behind a car game like this in VR, a full, true, proper racing game in VR. We don't have a lot of those, especially games that are done really well like Gran Turismo is. And apparently, according to the people who have early played it, the graphics look outstanding in the game. And that's what has me really excited, is to see exactly how this game performs in VR and getting a full-on racing game. So, Gran Turismo 7 coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil 7 that originally came out on the original PSVR was probably still in my top 3 games that I played, or at least in the top 5 VR games that I played on the PSVR. It was the scariest Resident Evil game you could play when you play a game like this in VR. And the fact that we're getting Resident Evil Village, the sequel to that game, into fully VR all over again makes me super, super excited, because I love Resident Evil as a franchise. I love horror games in VR, and I can't wait to experience this game. I have not played Resident Evil Village yet because I had a feeling it was going to be in VR, so I've not played the game at all. I have no idea what to expect from the story or from the gameplay or anything, because I've been waiting for it to come to VR, and here we are getting the game fully done in VR on the PSVR2 using all of its features, and I cannot wait for this game, guys. If you guys are fans of horror game or Resident Evil, or you love the original Resident Evil 7 on the PSVR original, you're going to be in for a treat for this one. I mean, just look at this gameplay, look at everything going on, look how good it looks, and using the power of the PS5, I can't wait to see what this game looks like compared to, what Resident Evil 7 looked like on the PSVR original. This game is going to have a lot more to work with, a lot more horsepower, so I can't wait to see what this game does in VR. So, guys, Resident Evil Village coming in at number 3. The next one here coming in at number 2 is the Dark Pictures Switchback VR. This is obviously at my number 2 on the list, and I'm super, super excited about this game. This is from the developers Supermassive Games that made the original game on the PSVR that a lot of us loved, which is Rush of Blood, which is in also my top 5 games on the PSVR. And the fact that we're again getting a sequel like this, basically right around launch. It used to come on launch, but now it's coming in the middle of March instead, which is not too far away from the PSVR2 launch. But there's already been some gameplay out there from some of the people who got to experience this game first, and this is exactly what I want. It's an on-rails experience, of course, but you're riding roller coasters. It's all about scaring you. And some of the things that they're doing in this new game, where they're actually making you face your fears by not being able to blink, by using the eye tracking in PSVR, by using the haptic feedback in your head and stuff. I mean, they could really... The first game was already really scary. They can really, really scare you in this game with even more features using the PSVR haptic feedback on the headset, the controllers, and the eye tracking stuff with not being able to blink. And the initial gameplay that's come out of this game is exactly what I want out of this game. Super, super excited about this game. Switchback VR. I'm hoping it's everything that I wanted, and I can't wait for it to come out on PSVR 2, and I can't wait to get scared just like I did in the original game, because I definitely remember getting scared of that one, and I can't wait to, have a game that I can showcase to other friends and family who come over that have a bunch of different levels in the game like they touted. Obviously, they have a lot of variety and a lot of levels to be able to enjoy, so I can't wait for it. The Dark Pictures Switchback coming in at number 2. And the game coming in at number 1 as my most anticipated game is probably not a surprise to anybody at this point. It is Horizon Call of the Mountain. I am a huge fan of Horizon in general. I love the original one. I'm still working on playing through the second one. I haven't finished it, but I love this game, and I'm super, super excited about it. And the graphics, again, as you can see here, look outstanding. If this is how the graphics are going to look like in PSVR, we're definitely going to be in for a treat, because this looks outstanding between the lighting, the graphics, the textures, everything about this game in the trailer looks fantastic. But I can't wait to see what it looks like in VR. And they're touting that the game is going to be about 7 to 8 hours long with even additional modes and stuff. So this is not going to be like a tech demo or anything, according to the developers, which has everybody excited. And what I've seen so far of the gameplay, you know, the climbing and, you know, the leisurely boat rides and climbing through ropes and climbing through mountains, and obviously even fighting and you using your bow and arrow and stuff that we've seen in the trailers and some of the gameplay that they've shown off, has me really excited to see how much of this is going to be. And it's definitely they said it's going to be a story in the Horizon world, so I can't wait to see where the story goes and what they do with this game in VR as one of the first party games coming from Sony exclusively for their PSVR 2. We should be in for a treat. So guys, check this one out. Coming in at number 1, probably not a surprise to most of you, Horizon Call of the Mountain coming in at number 1. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 list of anticipated games on the PSVR 2, and there's a ton more games that I'm excited about that. Sure, they've been on the Quest 2 for those of us who have been on the Quest 2 platform and stuff, but they're touting a lot of different things that they're doing. You know, Demio, for example, I can't wait to play that. Synth Riders, you know, a bunch of different games. Star Wars, the Galaxy's Edge game. They're all doing different things, and they're not going to be exact ports from the Quest because they're obviously going to be taking advantage of the exclusive features on the PSVR. Not only are they going to look a lot better because they're using higher resolution, obviously, the graphics are going to be a lot better because they're obviously using the PS5, so they're not going to be using mobile hardware from the Quest. They're going to have the haptic feedback and all the stuff that they've been touting. So I'm super excited to replay games that I've played on the Quest and just see how they compare. And of course, I want to be doing a lot of videos on the PSVR 2 when it comes out. So look forward and make sure you subscribe because I'll be doing unboxings, I'll be doing gameplay videos and reviews, not only on these games that are on this list, but just showcasing, hey, how much better is this game than the Quest? Does it actually look a lot better? Is it worth rebuying? You know, things like that I'm excited to answer and explore for myself on the PSVR 2. So there's a lot to look forward to, whether you aren't a person who's coming from VR on the PSVR 2 and you haven't played games on the Quest and stuff that are being ported over, or even if you have, there's still a lot of fun stuff to look forward to on release day and at launch. So I'm super excited, guys, and you can look forward to a lot more content from me on the PSVR 2. I do have mine pre-ordered and hopefully coming next week. Other than that, guys, if you guys have any questions, as always, leave those down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.